Interesting things are happening right now with mobile order at the Disneyland Resort, and you're going to want to watch this update to make sure that you're prepared for your next trip to Disneyland. We're going to be talking about what's working, what isn't working, where to go, where not to go, all that coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Fresh Baked. I'm your host, David, and if you are interested in having a conversation about how to get a meal efficiently at Disneyland, this is the video for you. I've been observing the dining situation at the Disneyland Resort since the parks opened, and while I thought I had a pretty good idea of how things were going, Disney went and completely flipped the script on me. When the parks first opened, mobile order was pretty much a disaster, and that was because it was the only way that you could get food at Disneyland. There was no standby. You would place an order on the app, and then you could wait an hour minimum, 2 hours, 3 hours, it depends on the dining location. You really had to plan ahead. My guess then was that as soon as they opened up standby, that would be the more efficient way to get your food, because everybody else was getting mobile order. But I was so wrong. Why? Well, not because I'm an idiot, but because mobile order essentially declared eminent domain over all of the windows, or 75% of the ordering windows at a given dining location. Just last week, we tested standby at Bengal Barbecue. Mobile order wait time was 25 minutes. I wanted to see how it would compete with getting in the standby queue. And we were in there for just shy of an hour to get our food at standby. And the reason for that is, I didn't notice it until I got closer to the window, was that they had only one window available for standby guests. All the other windows were being occupied by mobile order pickups. By the way, pre-COVID, this was the exact opposite. If you were to go to Bengal Barbecue, they had just one window for mobile order tucked away over there in the corner. Every other station was standby, and it worked pretty good. I got my food pretty fast with mobile order that way. Anyway, we saw the same thing the week before at Hungry Bear, and I found more locations like this as we toured the Disneyland Resort. Matter of fact, here's some on-location recon that we did this past Saturday. Looks like we got the same here at the Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland. Everything that you're seeing right here is all mobile order pickup. Looks like windows 4, 5, wait, oh man, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are mobile order, and then you have one standby queue here. And just like Bengal Barbecue, the standby queue is extensive, especially when you consider that there's just the two windows serving guests here. Still not as bad as Bengal Barbecue though, because for reference, this is about how long the Bengal Barbecue line was in Adventureland, except that they had just the one window. These guys have two. So this is marginally better, well, by half, than Bengal Barbecue. Meanwhile, at Alien Pizza Planet, it's about it is 3:16, it's not about. Not exactly the peak time for lunch. Normally, you're looking at, or a mealtime at all, you're looking at noon or 5 o'clock, right? 3:15, right in the middle of all that. A line out the door. I don't know what it looks like inside. I'm gonna try to take a peek. But the standby line is out the door. Meanwhile, mobile order is in 10 minutes from now. Now, I don't know if mobile order gets you in the door right away. Confirm that is standby for Pizza Planet, and confirm if you have a mobile order, you can just go directly in if you've been called in. Okay, well, a completely different story inside. Once you're inside, there's nobody in line anywhere. There's no lines at the registers, either for standby or for mobile order. Of course, if it's mobile order, you're just walking out with your food, you're picking it up. Oh, there's your mobile order pickup right here. Oh, they've got everything separate. Okay, so you used to come up here and just get your pizza, but now they've moved the mobile order checkout right here. Or is that where you place your standby order too? It is. You place your standby over here, and then you can check out right here. They've got two registers for that, and then I guess you just pick up your food if you're mobile order right here, and you walk out. So the line outside is for no purpose at all that I could tell, other than them wanting to keep it outside, because there's nothing holding you up inside. And then same kind of story at Red Rose Tavern. I haven't actually checked in on Docking Bay 7 and Galaxy's Edge yet, so I'm not sure how that's working. Now, the good news is that it's not like this at every dining location. It's not a consistent mess, if you want to put it that way, at every dining location. Dining locations that have a separate dedicated area aside from the cashier windows do not appear to be effective like we saw at Pizza Planet. Fresh Market is another example. That area was newly created just for this. It's a dedicated area that they set up just for mobile order pickups. It didn't use up a pre-existing space inside the main pickup area in the French Market. I will say though that mobile order does occupy the left half of that interior area where it used to be, you could order from either side. Standby, as far as I know, is still just right side only. Meanwhile, Rancho del Zocalo tried and then crashed and burned with mobile order. That location is simply not designed well for this because the cashiers exist at the exit of the interior space. So while mobile orders can pick up their food inside, which, I mean, that's not really a particularly graceful way to do it to begin with, in order to leave, they had to pass through a typically dense line of guests trying to pay for their food, standby guests. Awkward at best and abandoned. Now the good news is that mobile order is not like it was, mainly because they have standby now. You do still have to plan a little bit, but it's nothing like the 2 or 3 hours that we were talking about before, where if you had to basically plan your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, all of it by the time you got into the park at 8 or 9 a.m. Most wait times that I saw on the app during some of those peak hours for ordering were still at either now or maybe 30 minutes from now. Now, your mileage may vary a little bit on how long it takes for you to actually get your food after you've hit the button that says I'm here and it turns blue and then they provide your food. That's going to take a few minutes as well. But even considering that, it's still going to be significantly better in most cases than standby. So if you have a specific place that you want to eat and you have a specific time at which you want to eat there, I would suggest at least a half an hour, maybe better an hour before then. So if you want to eat at noon at the French Market, then be on your app by 11 a.m. and start looking at the menu and place your order then. It's a drag. I hate that we have to be on our phone this much right now, but honestly, it's the best way to get things done until they figure out what they're doing with standby. And then one final note, Tropical Hideaway, the location where the mobile order drama became famous, is no longer doing mobile order. Tropical Hideaway is now standby only. And I have to say, I got no complaints with that. It's kind of like that argument we've been engaged in the past couple of weeks about standby versus FastPass. What would the park look like if there were no FastPass? Observe Tropical Hideaway, where if you didn't get in your mobile order for a Dole Whip by, 2 p.m., then you weren't getting one at all that day. I mean, period. You were not going to get you were out. Take mobile order out of Tropical Hideaway and the standby wait was 20 minutes. I waited in a line that stretched to the entrance to Tropical Hideaway. I did it twice actually. A good sized line, and I would do that over and over again rather than try to plan my Dole Whip. Try to order a Dole Whip hours in advance. Sometimes you just want a Dole Whip. Sometimes you just want to get in a line and get a Dole Whip. I don't want to plan a Dole Whip. Now, having said that, they do still have mobile order at the Tiki Juice Bar in front of the Tiki Room. And I mentioned this because of full disclosure. If you were to put mobile order back in at Tropical Hideaway, you wouldn't have that same scenario where it would take hours to get your Dole Whip, simply because there's now 2 ways to get a Dole Whip. You've got the Tropical Hideaway and the Tiki Juice Bar. Before, obviously, it was the only way to get it. That added to the the urgency and the drama of all of that. So there you go, guys. A whole video about mobile order, but definitely necessary because the casual visitor to Disneyland, y'all need to know what the most efficient way is to get food at the park. If you have friends or family that are not necessarily Disney super fans but are going to Disneyland anyway, let them know about FreshBaked and we'll help guide them through their Disneyland day. Being prepared, having a little bit of knowledge beforehand goes a long way at Disneyland. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. We love you guys. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And FreshBaked